Coming up, the election is over, but we're still waiting for answers on some key races. Plus, celebrating birds of prey. The news starts now.
You're watching NAZ Today, Northern Arizona's local news.
Good evening and welcome to NAZ Today. I'm Matt Kienitz.
And I'm Jordan Valander. Thanks for tuning in.
It is official that Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States. Results came in early today after the president-elect won the key swing state of Wisconsin, giving him 277 electoral votes. Trump has won in 5 of the 7 key swing states: Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan.
Other swing states like Arizona and Nevada are the last 2 to be called, but Trump is polling ahead in those states. Trump will become the second president in history to be elected to 2 non-consecutive terms.
With the results of the election being announced, people across the country have mixed emotions.
NAZ Today's Elena Robla is live in the studio with more on what people think in the community.
Thanks, Jordan. I went out around Flagstaff today speaking with people about their thoughts on the results of the election. Many people expressed worry, while some were hopeful that what will happen in the next 4 years.
We are deeply, deeply sad.
Very disappointed in the vast majority of it.
Well, it was kind of bittersweet with the way Trump's been acting the last week, but we do think the country's going to go in the right direction now. And
Devastated, angry, scared, sad, heartbroken.
I think extreme shock and disappointment is probably where I'm at right now.
People don't understand that, having your rights put on the ballot every single go around, it's complex and it's really dramatic.
I think the country will get better. I think the economics of the country will improve.
I am hopeful that we can maintain some women's rights and some rights to our own health care.
Many of the people I spoke with were shocked by the early announcement of the winner. Elena Robla, NAC Today.
The Arizona Senate race is one of the most watched in the country. Former Congressman Ruben Gallego and former TV anchor Carrie Lake are neck and neck. Current results show Gallego in the lead by 2.6%. However, only 65.6% of the votes have been counted. The Republican Party currently has 52 seats in the Senate, giving them the majority. Many congressional races in the state have yet to be called, including the District 2 race between incumbent Eli Crane and former Navajo Nation President Jonathan NAZ. Crane is currently in the lead with 52.9% of the votes. As of now, it is too close to tell which party will hold control of the House of Representatives.
One of the most talked about propositions on the ballot this year was Proposition 139. Voters passed the prop, meaning that abortion is going to become a constitutional right in Arizona. This gives the right to an abortion until fetal viability and allows for abortions after fetal viability to protect the life or health of the mother. Results are still coming in for the Coconino County races. As of now, the Election Center has released that Patrice Horseman has won against Larry Freeman Shug for the District 1 Board of Supervisors. Republican Tammy Ontiveros beat Adam Hess for the Board of Supervisors District 3, and Judy Begay won the Board of Supervisors District 4, ahead of Walter Dempsey. Bob Thorpe lost to Aubrey Soderegger for the county recorder.
Here in Flagstaff, 3 city council seats were open. Miranda Sweet and Anthony Garcia are in the lead, and it looks like their spots for the next 4 years are secured. Currently, David Spence is in the lead for the 3rd spot with 16.5%, and Robert Bruning following behind with 15.9%. Mayor Becky Daggett was re-elected. She ran unopposed. While these election results look promising for the winning candidates, they are unofficial, especially in Coconino County, where ballots are still being counted. NAZ Today's Michaela Richardson joins us in the studio with more.
Thanks, Matt. And that's just right. I sat down with the Coconino County Elections Center Director, Elser Musta, just before the election. He says there will not be official results for the Coconino County until Monday. At this point in the election, patience is key.
Tabulation for the Coconino County votes has begun, but it will take days for every single vote to be counted.
It's easy to, again, get excited about the results and wanting to call the elections, but it's very important that the public knows that we are committed to tabulating every single ballot that was cast in Coconino County.
The results we see now are only a projection of what's likely going to be made official in the next few days.
They are not official results yet. That we are likely not going to be able to tabulate all the ballots, and results only become available when they're and official when they are canvassed by our Board of Supervisors.
Coconino County is the second largest county in the United States, meaning it will take longer for the center to go over each ballot with extreme care.
Tabulation is one of the most critical aspects in administering an election. It's something that the voters, the political parties, the candidates, and the general public want to see and ensure that it's done and have the confidence that it's done at the highest level of integrity.
The Election Center also has an online live stream and in-person observation rooms so voters can watch the tabulation process themselves. For the live stream, visit the Coconino County Elections YouTube channel.
There were a few watch parties around Flagstaff last night, including one at the Orpheum Theater.
NAZ Today's Karis Hayward is live in the studio with more.
Thanks, Jordan. Last night I attended the Democratic Watch Party in Flagstaff, where supporters of Vice President Harris gathered to watch the results of this historic election. Spirits were high and the Orpheum Theater was crowded when the Democratic Watch Party began. People had come from all around to support and campaign for Harris, including one Londoner concerned about the outcome of the election.
The outcome of a Trump presidency, I think, will be a disaster for the United States, a disaster for the UK, and in fact for the free world.
Many local candidates were present for the event. Miranda Sweet said that housing will be her first priority as council member. She was joined by fellow city council candidates Bob Brunig, who expressed respect for his closely tied opponent, and Anthony Garcia, who said that he does not want to be congratulated until 4 years have passed and his work is done. Jonathan NAZ, the Democratic congressional candidate running against incumbent Eli Crane, expressed his hopes for the aftermath of the election.
But I hope that we move forward. I hope that we all realize that elections are secure. It's not 100%, but it's secure, and that we move forward and not say the elections was rigged or anything like that.
NAZ would lose his race to incumbent Republican Eli Crane. The mood dropped as the night continued and Trump's win became apparent. Harris supporters left the Orpheum with concerns as to what the future holds. Claude Goldberg says he came from California to campaign for Harris in a swing state.
We saw what happened in 2016, 2020, and I think it's going to be worse.
Some clung to a sense of hope despite the disappointment for the Democrats.
We all are Americans. We win or lose. That's what this country's all about. We're resilient. Sometimes we lose. I've lost an election before. But we get right back up and we support our leaders because we want a better future.
We may have the results, but only time will tell how the 2024 election will impact America. Karis Hayward, NAZ Today.
We'd like to make a quick correction. The previous story stated that the race has been called for Eli Crane. However, he is only in the lead, and the final results have not been announced. A group of NAU social work students partnered with the Boys and Girls Club of Flagstaff on a fundraiser to get winter attire for local children. We visited the club to find out more.
The Boys and Girls Club of Flagstaff has collaborated with NAU before. However, this time was a little different.
A lot of the social work students come to us for volunteer hours here. So a lot of our volunteers are NAU social work majors, but this is our first time actually doing fundraising or anything like that with them.
Moss says the students did a variety of things to help the club.
So they held a few different things for us. I know they did a clothing drive, so they got some donated used clothes that they're going to give to us to give to our families. They raised about $600 to $700 for us, somewhere in between there. And all that money is going to go towards our Ross event coming up next month, where a few kids get to go to Ross and they each get a certain amount of money, and they get to go buy winter clothes.
The Boys and Girls Club expects to continue its partnership with NAU in the future. Jordan Vallander, NAZ Today.
The I-40 reopened this morning after some winter weather-related crashes. DPS says a series of collisions occurred at about 5:45 a.m. on I-40 in Flagstaff. Each incident involved 5 to 8 vehicles, including several commercial trucks. The accidents blocked both west and eastbound traffic from mid-Flagstaff to the west end of the city. At the time of the collisions, about half an inch of ice was reported on the roadways. Imagine a real place that mimics the ancient world playfully portrayed in the Flintstones.
NAZ Today's Faith Rodriguez tells us there is such a place with a twist. She joins us live in the studio with more.
Located in Valley, Arizona is Raptor Ranch. It's the town of Bedrock from the Flintstones, but with powerful birds of prey. Just as its name suggests, Raptor Ranch in Valley, Arizona is about protecting birds of prey. A few years ago, Raptor Ranch owner Troy Morris purchased the place, which is on the land that hosts a defunct Flintstones-style roadside attraction.
Constantly improving it since 2019. We did have it shut down for a few months where we did some required maintenance and then reopened it after a few months, and have been working on it ever since.
Their mission? To educate people on birds at the ranch.
Provide people with an appreciation for birds of prey and raptors and falconry in particular.
Ashley Acevedo has the unique job of bird handler.
Are fed, flown just about every day. I mean, I have my normal days off, but we weigh them. We do education programs, so we'll do flight demonstrations where we free fly our birds, and then I also train some of the newer birds that we get in.
During the rebuild, they were originally going to get rid of the Flintstones Bedrock attraction, but visitors had other plans.
There were still a lot of people that still had a lot of love for Bedrock City.
Raptor Ranch is still in the process of renovating the Flintstones site, but it remains open to the public. Faith Rodriguez, NAZ Today.
Coming up, President-elect Trump celebrates his victory. Also, Vice President Kamala Harris speaks for the first time since the results were announced. Stay with us.
Now, we have a chance of snow tonight and going into tomorrow. However, we will be seeing warmer weather this weekend. I'll have more after the break.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Fast-paced family life in need of a slowdown?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Did you know all those green shapes on maps are parks and forests? It's true. Visit discovertheforest.org and plan to visit a park or forest near you, instead of just wondering what it would have been like.
While the word forest might make you think of distant lands from far, far away, please note parks and forests are closer than you think, which means things like beautiful scenery, fresh air, and family time are also closer than you think.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Welcome back. Donald Trump has secured a historic second term in the White House. A crucial win in the battleground state of Wisconsin early this morning put him over the top of the 270 electoral votes he needed. Ivan Rodriguez is in West Palm Beach, Florida, where President-elect Trump celebrated with support.
Please welcome President-elect Donald J. Trump.
Projected President-elect Donald Trump is now the second person in U.S. history to win 2 non-consecutive terms as Commander-in-Chief.
America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate.
And I think presidents who are given a mandate to govern deserve from the Senate the opportunity to surround themselves with people that are going to help them execute their policies.
And the Republican Senate is exactly what Trump will have after the GOP secured enough seats to take control of that chamber overnight. He gave a peek into his prospective administration.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he came in. And he's going to help make America healthy again.
Kennedy is known for his extreme views on America's public health systems and anti-vaccine stance.
Healthcare regulators now are not doing healthcare, they're doing sick care.
A star is born,
Elon Musk poured around $119 million into Trump's campaign and is expected to play a role in Trump's White House. Republican and former Representative Liz Cheney, who campaigned with Vice President Kamala Harris, tweeted this morning that our nation's democratic system functioned last night, and we have a special responsibility to support and defend our Constitution. In West Palm Beach, Florida, I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Vice President Kamala Harris addressed her supporters and the nation today. After the presidential election was called for Donald Trump, she spoke from her alma mater, Howard University. Michael Yoshida is in West Palm Beach, Florida, and brings us more on her concession.
The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for, but hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright.
Vice President Kamala Harris officially acknowledging the new incoming 47th President of the United States. Trump is now the second person in U.S. history to win 2 non-consecutive terms as Commander-in-Chief.
Reaction and reflection from both sides of the aisle.
I think there is a populist and a anti-incumbent wave because of the impact of both the pandemic and the recovery from it.
We, the people, made our voices heard.
America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate.
It's a mandate that will be backed by a Republican majority Senate. The GOP secured enough seats to take control of that chamber overnight. Vice President Harris spoke to President-elect Trump by phone before her speech. She urged her supporters and all Americans to uphold the peaceful transfer of power.
But we must accept the results of this election. We will engage in a peaceful transfer of power.
I will govern by a simple motto: promises made, promises kept.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to NAZ Today. My name is Michaela Richardson and I will be your student forecaster on this Wednesday evening. Outside right now we do have a current temperature at about 37 degrees. Partially cloudy skies, that barometer reading at about 30.1 inches and a relative humidity of about 29%. We do have northeast winds, as you can see with this little graphic here, at 13 miles per hour. But let's get back to those cloud coverages. You can see that the state of New Mexico is completely covered in clouds, and kind of by that logic, Arizona's got it easy. Northern Arizona, you can see we have a little bit of scattered clouds up here, and that's going to get worse before it gets better. So tonight we're going to be seeing a little bit more cloud coverage and a little bit more into tomorrow morning, but that's going to burn off into the weekend. You can see Tucson and Ajo also have a little bit of cloud coverage down here in southern Arizona. But for today, we did have that high of 37 degrees and a low of 22, way below those averages of 56 and 26 degrees. Now take a look at these records here. I think this is pretty interesting. You can see that our record high was at 1934 at 72 degrees, but just a year later on this exact day in 1935, we did have that record low of 7 degrees. So pretty stark change there, huh? You can see precipitation. We didn't have any yesterday, but since January 1st, you can see we have almost 2 inches on that average of 17.32 inches. Now, our sunrise this morning was at 6:53 a.m. and that sunset was, past tense now, at 5:27 p.m., which means that winter is coming up faster and faster. High temperatures across the high country today. You can see we're pretty cold. You have that high of 50 in the Grand Canyon, 54 in Kingman, Sedona 61, and Phoenix is even joining us with that high of 70 degrees. Hope you guys had the coolest temperature today at 35 degrees, just 2 degrees below Flagstaff. Speaking of Flagstaff, let's take a look at our forecast low for tonight. We do have that low of 22 degrees, way below freezing. You can see that chance of snow showers that comes with it. Now, please be careful driving tonight. I know it's going to be cold, and I know it's going to be a little bit slippery with that chance of snow showers. So please use your lights, drive safe, and remember to pump those brakes when you guys are stopping. We do have that sunset at 5:27, like I mentioned earlier. Tomorrow, though, we do have that same exact temperature forecast high as we did today. So imagine today a little less wind and a little more chances of snow, and you've got tomorrow. Now we do have that sunrise at 6:54 a.m. and that sunrise a little bit earlier at 5:26 p.m. Now, our forecast temperatures for the high country tomorrow, we do have that high of 53 in Sedona with a low of 34, high of 48 in Payson with a low of 28. Phoenix, you guys are dropping 3 more degrees with a high of 67 and a low of 45. Now, your guys' 45 low is the exact high of Winslow with that low of 25 degrees. So it is getting colder and colder in northern Arizona. Flagstaff, we are going to be getting warmer, kind of going against what I just said here. We do have that high at 40% chance of showers on Thursday with that high of 37 and a low of 24. But Friday, we're going to be jumping up to a high of 50 degrees and a low of 21 with that cloud coverage burning off. And that's just kind of extend into the rest of the weekend. You can see Saturday we have that high of 56 and a low of 25. Warmer on Sunday with a high of 58 and a low of 27 and a high of 59 degrees and a low of 28 on Monday. So we are jumping almost 20 degrees between Thursday and Monday. But I'll have more for that later. For now, stay tuned for your sports recap with Reese Clark after the break.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. My name is Reese Clark, and I'll be your sports reporter for the night. I have a ton of content for you, so let's get right into it. To start, NAU football hosted Weber State on Saturday for the Red Rock rivalry game. The Lumberjacks lifted the rivalry trophy, defeating the Wildcats 27-6. This win brought the Jacks to the upper half of the Big Sky Conference standings and a 3-2 conference record. Sports reporter Lydia Schwieters has the story.
On Saturday, NAU football hosted Weber State for the annual Red Rock rivalry game. The trophy was introduced in the 2022 season as NAU and Weber State became annual rivals. Weber State first won the trophy in 2022, but the Lumberjacks took it home 2023 and kept it home this year after a win of 27-6.
I think obviously coming out of the tunnel to start the game as we did was critical, especially coming off of a bye week. You know, like Tommy said, we were anxious, I think, to get back out there, get back on the turf and get playing again. And to watch us come out ready. And I told the team last night that I thought we were as prepared and as ready to go, really, maybe as we've been all week. I thought we had an exceptional 2 weeks, and our guys really showed that, I felt, by how we executed.
The Lumberjacks started the game off strong with the very first play resulting in a rushing touchdown 13 seconds into the game by quarterback Ty Pennington. On Weber's first offensive play, the ball was intercepted by DJ Van Hook, which resulted in a touchdown by defensive lineman Fo Ho Chang. The Lumberjacks didn't allow a single touchdown at all during the game, which hasn't happened since Sam Houston in 2022.
But yeah, like I was young guy during that game, and just to see everything in between that game and this game, it's been complete 180. But it's just a culmination of all the hard work, the practice, like in the weight room. I mean, we talk about it. Coach hit on it.
This weekend, the Lumberjacks will be on the road for their next game against Cal Poly. Lydia Schwieters, NAZ Sports.
As football is approaching the end of their season, basketball is just beginning. NAU women's basketball tipped off their season Monday at the University of New Mexico. The game was tied with 2 seconds left when NAU junior forward Sophie Glancy scored a buzzer-beater jumper to win the game 80-78.
Throws it in to Glancy. Glancy, one dribble, turnaround shot, goes up, it's good at the buzzer as Glancy wins it as time expires. NAU victorious.
This was a great win for the Jacks as they're looking to carry this momentum into the rest of the season. Their next game is tomorrow at noon, where they travel to Las Vegas to take on UNLV. Football and basketball weren't the only teams with big wins recently. The NAU cross-country team kicked off the weekend with a Big Sky Conference championship. Both the men's and women's teams competed in Idaho on Friday and came home with some hardware. This is the 4th straight year that both programs have won the championship. Now, both teams will continue training for the upcoming NCAA Mountain Regionals on Friday, November 15th in Reno, Nevada. Also on Friday, NAU volleyball traveled to Northern Colorado to battle against the Bears. This was the Lumberjacks' second time playing the Bears this season. The match ended in a 3-0 loss for the Jacks, leaving their conference record at 3-7. The Jacks have 6 conference games remaining, and their next game is tomorrow, where they will host Portland State Vikings at 6:30 p.m. in the Rural Activity Center. Moving on to some high school content, Coconino High School football is set to host Flagstaff High on Friday night at 7 p.m. This game continues a long-time rivalry between the schools that has existed since Coconino first opened in 1967. Both teams currently hold a 2-2 conference record and are coming off a loss. Coconino is ranked 3rd in the 4A Grand Canyon section standings, with Flagstaff right behind them in 4th. This is an important game for these two teams, and I'm curious to see how these standings play out. While we're on the topic of high school sports, the Northland High School Preparatory Academy girls soccer team traveled down to Phoenix on Saturday and beat the Show Low High School Cougars 3-1 in the 2A state championship match. This was the Spartans' 3rd straight state title. It was a successful weekend for our local sports teams, and there's just more to come in the upcoming weeks. That's all the sports I have for you tonight. Stay tuned for your weather recap with Michaela Richardson after the break.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What?
I can't drive.
Why?
My.
Oh.
Taking one last look at our Flagstaff Extended, we have that 40% chance of snow tomorrow with that high of 37 and a low of 24. Friday, we're going to start warming up, going from 50 degrees to 59 on Monday. And that's all I've got for sports this week, or weather.
Thanks, Michaela. Well, that is all we have for you today, but we will keep you updated with more election results through our social media at NAZ Today. Have a great night.